And we are live. Hello, hello. Good evening.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
How are you, girl?
I'm doing good. It's been a day, but I'm doing well. I'm
Oh,
doing
we're
well.
gonna get into it. Well, I am your host, Wanaki, and thank you for joining us from what is this? Teaching from the Middle. It's so funny. I did a podcast. The only reason I said that is because I started a podcast like 7 years ago when I first started like my entrepreneurial journey, and it was called Teaching from the Basement or
Oh,
checking in from the basement because
that's good.
I was starting from the basement, the
Yeah.
beginning. I was also literally recording it in my granny's
Wow.
basement. So it was like that. So when I was thinking about the title for this, I literally got
But
confused.
look at you now, though. Look at you
I'm
now.
like, what is the name of this? But it is teaching from the middle, where it's okay to acknowledge how far you've come. And obviously we know that we're gonna always be pursuing and looking for, looking for more, but honoring the space that we're in right now, which might feel like the middle for a lot of us, and just still showing up. And I want to say welcome to whoever just joined us. As you join us live on YouTube, you can join in on the conversation. So if anything that you like, drop a comment, and we'll be sure to answer those as we go. So as we get going, you see how happy yesterday. I'm excited, and we're just gonna Nicole, how are you?
I am good. I am really, really good. One, I'm excited about life. Just to be alive in this day and time. Listen, that's a blessing by itself.
Yeah. What makes you so excited specifically? Let's just go ahead and get into it.
Well, one, for me, 4 years ago, a little bit over 40 years ago, I had terminal cancer. And so just the mindset then, I can remember even being in the hospital bed and say, God, if you get me out of this now, the appreciation I will have for life, period, will be beyond. And so to sit here to even be talking to you, it's like an opportunity to talk to a great person. It's a blessing. It's just an honor.
You know what? Let's just do a real brief intro. I was telling you that we wasn't gonna do anything too much, but as people start to join us, welcome. You are an actress, you are an activist, you are like a creative, you're an author.
Yeah.
Like you said, you are a cancer survivor. We're gonna get into all of it. It seems like you just really dedicate your life to serving people and others and through the arts. So, let's just go ahead and jump right into it. As an artist, like were you always an artist? Like how does this come about?
I think I've always been weird. And I say weird because I always saw life, people, and everything just differently. And so it almost like from childhood, I was always a writer. I was always writing or reading. And then that just went into, I was too introverted to go into acting because I knew I was supposed to go into acting when I was in college. But I literally was like, I don't like talking in front of people. So that's a like done deal. And so I went to computer information systems. And when I was there, I was like, man, I was just making like so many like mini like commercials, movies, videos. And they were like, Nicole, you just need to do something because you need an outlet. And then that's when it was birthed. I was nervous. I first started off modeling first and then acting. And then I went to do like everything else.
So you literally just completely threw yourself out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, pretty much. And I still, to this day, I promise you, people don't believe I'm an introvert. I am. I'm in the cut. I'm chilling until I want to share information. Then it's like, I just have to share. And I guess I get a little excited. So.
And what's interesting is what I didn't say is you and I, we met through our fellowship. So we're currently Chicago Peace Fellows. We graduated period. This has been a lot of birthdays. But I would say that in meeting you, you seem like an introvert to me because of maybe like how you show up in those spaces.
Yeah.
So it was really interesting when I was doing my research, when I was like looking at your stuff, I'm like, wait a second. I did not. So for me, it's like I'm like, I did not see this coming. That's so interesting. But I love people like that because it just seems, it makes me more curious. It's like all the layers.
And plus it's a sponge. I mean, you all have, it's like we have 19 amazing people who are running these organizations who are literally helping Chicago. So it's like, I want to listen to, I already know what I know. I'm trying to hear what you all know and get your information.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay, so let's get into like the acting and things like that. So you decide that you're going to throw yourself outside of your comfort zone. You're going to start modeling.
Yeah.
Start acting and all of it. What did that time in your life teach you about yourself?
I think at that time I used to believe that I sounded stupid. Just being real honest. Yeah, just being vulnerable. Like like little kid trauma kind of things. I used to think that I wasn't intelligent, even though I got straight A's all throughout. DePaul fully paid for and everything, tuition, board, and everything. But for me, my inner dialogue to myself was negative. And so I think this is one of the ways that Father God used me to be able to do the acting and like the creative part, just to get me out of that like lying, like kind of like story that I had put in my head. And so for me, it was almost like the more and more I did acting, the more and more I did like, whether it was theater, film, or whatever, the more I did it, I started becoming more of myself. And I stopped listening to the lies that I used to tell myself in my head.
What were some of the things that you used to tell yourself? I'm just curious.
Oh, it was crazy. It's everything that I do now. I told myself I wasn't. I told myself I wasn't beautiful. I told myself I wasn't intelligent. And keep in mind, this is someone making straight A's, doing exceptionally well all throughout all school. And it's just, for some reason in my head, I just felt like it was like a comparison thing, where it's like I was so different than everybody else around me that I thought it was something wrong with me, versus realizing that's what made me unique and special. I think that's what really it was.
I love that. How did you know that you needed to like actually start to reframe your thoughts if you were going to be successful? Like, how did you know that that's what you had to do?
For me, getting more and more into the Bible, I'm a Christian. Everybody blatantly knows that. But I had to get into the word. I had to get, the more and more you read the word of God, and this is just for somebody who's not a Christian. If you just want wisdom or principles, the more and more I read it, it started to wash away all that stuff. I started to see myself the way God saw me. And then I was like, wow, this is crazy. I've been living this so long. And then I'm a mother. I have 2 daughters. When I thought about that, I said, I do not want my daughters to have these same craziness going on in their head because I didn't fix what was broken in me. I refuse to have broken daughters, you know what I mean? And broken women. And then you know what that happens. They get into bad relationships. They don't choose the right jobs. They don't go into having school because they don't think. I didn't want that for my girls. So I said, if I don't kill it dead in me, it's going to travel through all my generations and I won't have it.
Oh, that's good. That's very good. Okay. So how long were you acting and doing all of these other things before it started?
Well, I'm still acting. So I've been acting now over probably around 12 years strong. I started acting, what year is that? Gosh, I'm old. Probably like around 2012, 2013. Yeah, around there somewhere. Yeah.
What are some things that you've done?
I was very strong in theater, so I did a lot of plays, and then now I'm branching off into films where I do a lot. Well, I've been producing a lot of things too, like short films now too. But I'm about to write my own. I wrote my own 8-part kind of like TV series, and I'll be filming that all next year.
So yeah, I was looking at your bio, and you wrote a book that you're also getting ready to turn into a stage play. What is the process? What is that?
It's not hard, really. If you already have the book, you have pretty much the structure. You have the start, the middle, and the end, and you're just putting dialogue. But then there's a difference between doing a play, because when you do a play, you have to show the audience everything. So if I wanted to do a film now, I'm not doing the play. I'm going to do a film because I feel like I want the words to hit more.
Okay.
And it's almost like you have to be more dramatic in theater, but film, I want to be able to show in a facial expression. Film is all about showing. If you can show it, you shouldn't say it. That's how the best way of writing film would be. So for me, I wanted to be able to, one, not have to do the long rehearsals, because I feel like when you do film, you in and you out, but plays, you rehearse for a while because you have to more so mesh with your scene partner. And not that you don't do that with film, but with plays, because you have to make it bigger than it is, but still keep it true to nature, it's harder to do. I feel like if you are going to get into acting, do theater first before you do film.
So let's jump around here. I want to jump around to, you're the executive director of the Still Searching Project. And I'm so curious about this. I'm always curious. I was so curious to know, like, what really got you invested in this particular initiative and in this particular way?
So for me, it was my husband.
What is it for those joining us?
Oh, so I'm the co-founder and the executive director of the Still Searching Project. We use the visual and performing arts to highlight missing women and girls, melanated missing women and girls in Chicago. And we actually do beyond. We do the suburbs and everything else. But for us, this experience happened to my husband's aunt. And I asked him at the top of the year, I said, I know you're doing the different commissions for other people, but what is God telling you that you should do for this year? We always do that every year. And he said, I really believe that God wants us to start working with missing women. And that hit me, because I am a girl's girl. I believe in whatever I can do to make my sister grow or to be helped. I'm going to do it. But what I hated was the fact that when you check social media, every day you see so many babies, you see women and they're missing, and it used to hurt me. And then it's like I feel convicted. I was like, I don't want to just scroll past. You know what I mean? I don't become like almost like you're just like numb to the fact that these are people, not just the people, but then the families. So then my husband started painting them. We had a residency at the Chicago Cultural Center. We started going to the different police officers. We started building relationships with detectives. Then we started doing our community mural events. And that's where we actually have the detectives come, the families come, and the community come, and we paint a mural. And what we do, we put the information on there. So now we're getting anonymous calls to the police station because people don't want to trick and be a snitch. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if they see it, they'll call in. And we've actually been getting people like found that way. So it's like,
I was going to ask, like, have you seen success?
Yeah, what we do is we work with it's a new detective now, but we're working with her. So even before we do one of our portraits, we talk with her to find out what's going on, because sometimes, and people don't know this, the people could be found, but the families don't want the information out due to whatever situation is going around. But they'll close it off and say, hey, they've been found. They'll let us know, so we won't necessarily do the mural for them, that kind of thing. But it's all about like partnerships. And then it's like there's so much trauma with the police detectives who are overworked because there's so many cold cases. It's only a certain amount of them. And then the family members are mad because they're not getting back to them.
The attention that they think which they do.
Yeah. And so we will have like mental health panels where we have life coaches. We will have pastors. We will have therapists, and everybody come together and both sides. And the biggest thing that me and Damon do is almost like make sure that everyone is one, heard, and then two, we're not against each other. We are a team. And what the enemy tries to do is come in and create division and make it seem as if people aren't doing what they do, but people are. Like if you talk to the detectives, they give out their cell phone numbers, which they don't have to do. They went above and beyond, but at the same time, if you're not seeing that, you're only mixed in your emotions because you're mad. You want your loved one to be found. So
yeah, this is okay. So. And I know it may seem like I'm jumping all over the place, but I promise we're string together, because it's like, okay, boom, you get into the arts, you push yourself to model, to act. You've written books. You are now creating like the movie or the series. And then you also are leading this initiative, which in my mind is just like big and it's like huge in itself, and seeing success at it. And you're a mom and you're a wife. And then 4 years ago, you get hit with this terminal illness. Can we go back to there in the midst of all that you're doing? Because I'm sure you were doing all of these things at that time as well. In the midst of all that you were doing, you get the news. Like, let's go back to there.
So I was having fun on a sister's trip every year. My sisters and I, it's five girls. We used to always go to a trip to kind of like commemorate my mom, and not her she passed, but we would all get together just to like celebrate her life. And we were on this trip, and I had like for the last probably like a year, I felt like this pain, but strong Black woman, we're gonna push through. Maybe I pulled something when I was working out, whatever. But it wouldn't stop. And so my husband said, hey, you need to fly back now. I get to the hospital, and literally as I'm about to sit down, it was lights out from my navel down. Lost total ability to stand, walk, everything. Woke back up. They told me they was going to run all the different tests. And then my doctor at the time was friends with my sister, who's a doctor. And she was like, hey, I'm going to I guess she let my sister tell me. And my sister called me. She's like, hey, you know what we believe. We only believe the word of God. So this is an attack. We know what it is. And so I told my sisters what happened. And for me, I remember from the first beginning, because I'm silly. I can't help it. I'm 45. I'm probably as silly as I was when I was like a teenager. But I remember I told Father God, I was like, man, so you mean my edges gonna be gone? That was my first thought. I promise you. I said, because everybody know I talk about my edges. Like, listen, like, don't let nobody shut you out. Don't let nobody shut you out for your edges. Don't. And I remember he told me, he said, the same joy you had before cancer attacked you is the same joy I want people to see. And I remember people were so mad because I only told it was very few people I told. And I was fully writing my book. I was fully still writing shows and getting treatment. And then it was a strenuous time because I had the most aggressive chemotherapy. It was like 24/5. So 24 hours, 5 days a week, full chemo. But then you had to come back for a 6th day for another round of chemo and bone treatment, because people don't know that chemo actually weakens your bone density and whatnot. Then I was on the highest level of steroids, and all this stuff was going on. And the whole time I was like, okay, God, I gotta keep myself to a certain level, because one, my girls at that time had never been away from me ever. Like it was like maybe a day. At that, well, they're now Kayla is 17, Olivia's 15, so that was 4 years ago. So they're like early teens, and they hadn't been away from me more than maybe a day or two. That was like, and that wasn't even that often. So, and that was during COVID, so I couldn't have people visit me in the hospital. So imagine being there. You're there by yourself. Yeah, you're isolated. And I was like, okay. So I had my laptop, and I said, I'm just gonna listen to comedies, and I'll listen to the word. And then it was also, I had to hide, because I'm very much talking to people every day, whether it's ministry, work, or whatever. And I had to talk to people, and I just gotten out of, let's say, chemo, or I just got whatever kind of drug they've been. Because I think at that time I was on like 22 medications, and I was twice a day. And so all this was going, yeah, it's weird, bro. That's why I wrote the book. But going through that, and then I remember they thought I was crazy, because I told them, I said, hey, could you all give me a physical therapist, because I can't really like I can't even stand on my legs. I got to start getting my legs. I don't want them to have what do they call that? When they stop like your muscles atrophy. I don't want my legs. I don't want my legs to atrophy. Period. So I was like, so I said, they was like, no. So they brought a chaplain in to tell me like, hey, you need to get your affairs in order. Because what happened was, it was like a one tumor the size of a stick of butter that was like by aorta and going through my spine. And then 3 weeks later, 10 more went down my spine, and that's what took everything out. So I'm like, man, I said, y'all gonna have me in here doing prison push-ups. I'm not playing with y'all. Yeah, on the walker. I said, I need a physical therapist. He's like, you got to get they thought I was delusional. And I just told him, I said, hey,
you're dying to them. And
yeah. And I said, I know the guy said I'm healed. So that's nothing. I was very free in the hospital. I said, hey, I just want you all to know I'm a Christian. I want you all to know this is my stance. And I knew that God put certain people in my pathway who were my doctor team, because my sister, when I first went there, they told me that they didn't know what's wrong with me. My sister said, y'all gonna find out what's wrong with my sister, because she's an attending doctor. She's like, you gonna find out and she brought her team in, and they found it within like 30 minutes. And they located it, they found it, and they immediately was like going into action. So for me, it was like, I know what God said in his word that I have, and I'm healed. I don't care what the attack is, and it's not delusion, it's what the word says. I've seen him do it before in my life, and I'm gonna stand on that. And if you're not going to stand on that, then you can treat me however you want to, but I want you speaking that around me. Mm-hmm. But I used to have all the nurses, they would come to my room on their lunch, and I'm like, okay, y'all, this is not y'all kicking this spot. But I was giving out, like, telling acting classes, where to go for agents. This is all while I'm doing chemo. It was wild.
Now, because the human part of me wonders, like, was there a part of you at any point like, okay?
There was one moment, this is the stupid part, or this is how just the enemy attacks. I remember after I got my final round of chemo, at that moment, I couldn't keep food down. So I'm normally like I got thickness, but I went down to like almost like 140 pounds. And so my natural weight was like maybe usually around 180, 185, but I went to like maybe 140. So it was like, but I was weak because I couldn't stand. So I was trying to do like whatever I could, but my body was just waning, and I couldn't keep food down, because once you get on chemo, what people don't know is like, as you do so many different rounds and it was so strong, you lose a desire to eat. Then I had like 2 or 3 different nausea medications. So I couldn't keep anything down, not even fluid I could keep down. And I remember telling Father God, like, Lord, I know you promised me. I know what your promises are. And this isn't it. This is not abundant life. You said I'll have life and that more abundantly. This is not it. And I remember I had a moment where I was finally released, and I went back to my sister's house, because my 2 younger sisters, they kept my daughters, and then my husband would come and go, because he has still work. Mm-hmm. And I remember laying on the sofa, and my youngest sister came to me, and she was just sitting there, and all she did was just rub my head. And I said, because I didn't have any more. Yeah, she rubbed me. And it was funny because she told me, and let me tell you something too that was funny. I said, listen, when I lost all my hair, I had a good head though. And I didn't know I had a good head, because I was concerned. I thought I was like, some people had like the rolls and wrinkles. And I was like, look. And then when they came back in, I look slightly Puerto Rican. That's all I'm gonna say. But it grew back. Like my hair is down like bra strap for them now, and that's only in 4 years, and only God did that. So,
what was that process when you realized, oh, I'm losing my edges for real?
No, I can tell you the full story. I was at my sister's house, and I put a hat on. She had corn on my hair, like I think a week ago. I just started treatment. I was cool. I'm like, oh, my edges gonna stay. They're gonna stay. I went into the bathroom because I was hot, and I pulled off the hat, and a whole corn roll came straight off with it. And I looked at my husband. I said, Damon, could you come in? Because my daughters and everybody's around. And so he came and I said, you're going to have to shave all this off. And that's when I just took everything off.
All in that moment.
Mm-hmm. Because I was done with it. I said, I'm not going to have nothing looking like Fire Marshal Bill. And I just got a wide roll.
Did you cry, or were you like, your spirit's like this the whole time?
And here's the thing. I cried, but I had to talk to myself. It's like, why am I crying? I said, well, you're expected to cry. And it's like, I promise you, it was like, well, shouldn't you cry if your hair is gone? Because like for me, I've always had hair. I've always had long hair. So it was like, okay, it'll grow back. But it was just the moment. It was like, dang, I can't believe my braid just fully came off. And I'm dangling it. Like, this is crazy. Yeah, it was weird. I got video and pictures. Don't judge me.
What?
Yeah.
It's the spirit for me. I'm wondering, like, how did your work change, or did it become more meaningful for you when you're like going through this process? And how long was this process?
So this was probably 7 months. I actually did my last chemo treatment on my birthday, and that's when I got to ring my bell.
Now this is terminal cancer, meaning you were not expected.
It metastasized. Yeah, and then it was happening. The tumors were coming so quickly. So imagine going from one large, and then 3 weeks later you got 10. So it metastasized all the way down. Yeah. And I had to learn how to walk and stuff like that all again too. It was crazy. Yeah.
So what were the doctors saying? And then I'm gonna get back to the work, but I'm just curious.
To this day, they don't know how it happened, because I'm a pretty healthy person. I like to eat well, and then I work out all the time. I'm one of those people that tell you what's the newest supplement, where to get it from, I'm that person. Okay. Yeah. So they didn't know, even even when I was going through my records for my book, they don't know where it came from. It just kind of like is what it is. As soon as it came, it was gone. Yeah.
And so the work, let's get back to so you're working, you're functioning fully while you're doing this.
Because I have to.
But why? Why did you feel like you had to?
Because to me, I feel like you have what you say, you have what you believe, you have what you think. If I keep thinking about the cancer more, then my focus is going to be cancer. And if I think about cancer, like everybody else thinks, it's a death sentence. But if I think about the word of God, if I think about the purpose that he gave me, if I think about the identity he gave me in order to be a writer, author, to be an actress and stuff like that, then that's my focus, because that's the truth. Everything else is just factual.
You're like blowing my mind, because because what do you say for the people who, I don't know, I think especially when you talk about like entrepreneurship, when you talk about having to go get fundraise money, you always get grants. When you're talking about creating, you're talking about a situation where you had every reason to like put all of those things down, at least for the moment. And I guess, as you know, people are watching this, I see as people, still here with us. A lot of the times we will trick ourselves out of a moment, because things that's going around that are valid, like they are valid things that's going around, and we still have to move forward with the mission. And for those people, what is something you would give to somebody who feels like, I got all of these things like stacked against me, and I don't know if I can push forward with the same like intensity? Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think for me, it's like, it still comes from faith. Because to me, it's like within myself, I couldn't do that. I can't. And it's just for me, I know how good God has been to me. He's been too good for me not to remember this. And then too, it's like, it kind of makes you mad. Because it's like, you're trying to take me away from my husband. I got a good husband. I mean, I got a good man. I'd be so mad at girls. I'm like, please wait for the one that will love you, love the hell out of you. You know what I mean? Yeah. But to me, it's like, I have 2 amazing daughters, and I have to fight for that. Because it's like everybody else can be around and they can encourage and they can pray. But unless it's coming out of my mouth and unless I'm believing for that, I don't know. For me, it wasn't a question. It never came to my head. I can't make this. I have to. To.
And so it's like, yes, for your family, but why for strangers or other people at that same moment?
Because I love people. I do. I'm one of those people that even if you do something crazy and bogus to me, I'm thinking about your childhood and what happened in your childhood and why you responded to that now. I've always just been that way, because I just love people. And it's almost like seeing people the way that God sees them, like even with the flaws and even things that people have to grow through. If Jesus was willing to bleed and die for somebody, then what? I mean, how could I not?
So this is gonna be a weird question
I
now.
don't mind. I like weird.
Just, just based on like the tone, like what was one of your favorite parts then during that journey of having like terminal cancer? If that even makes sense. Like who would
No,
have
it makes sense.
part,
I think for anything, it made me become more of an intercessor. Like for me,
try to explain it now.
yeah,
Yeah.
because for me, it's like, okay, when you're attacked, what would really, like, to me, I'm not a cusser, I don't curse, but what would really piss your enemy off?
I'll say it for you.
Yeah, you look, what will really make your enemy mad? You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the Bible talks about how when it's almost like when you're doing the will of God, it puts coals of fire on your enemy. And so my mind was like, if you try to attack me, what will be things that I can do that will really just mess up your whole game plan? And that's always going to be being a blessing to other people. And then too, it was almost like a focus point. Like, okay, I'm not when you focus on other people, you're not necessarily focused on what's going on with you. And that helped me a lot of the times. So if a person came in, they were having a bad day, and I have the word in my heart that I know, because it's like I'm prophetic as well. So if I know the word to that person that can actually help them and their family, why not? You know what I mean? And then God's glorified even more so. And then when they see the manifestation of the healing, they're going to remember me and be like, but she talked about God. And it's like evangelism without even trying to say Jesus, Jesus, Jesus every second.
Yeah. What do you do differently now? On the other, I take that back. My question is, as soon as you rang the bell, what was like the first thing you wanted to do?
Oh, I had to cut and separate myself from a lot of people. And
into this, because how is that a part of this?
Yeah. Because what happens is you start noticing, like, the more time you spend with Father God, he'll start giving you a mirror into what's for you and what's not for you. For me, I love everybody. I really do. So I would allow relationships, partnerships with people because I looked at their potential, but not their actions. So that was a detriment to me because I started draining myself for people who weren't willing to change or who were just users.
So it made you value your time differently as well.
I had to, because you can be a giver, but there has to be healthy boundaries around it. Or you're going to be given and it's just going to be spilt because it's not good ground to grow in.
That's good. So you started cutting people off.
Yeah. And in love, but it's in love. Like, I don't believe in having bitterness with somebody. I believe that when people do stuff, you can forgive them. They just don't have access to you anymore. So it wasn't like a desire for me. It's like, if people are acting cool, you want them around. But at the same time, you have to be honest with yourself and honest with the person and let them know, like, hey, can you meet these expectations or these desires? If you can't, then it could be people don't do healthy breakups, but it could be healthy breakups where it's like, hey, in this season, in this moment, we're in two different places and I don't want to not be there for you. I'd rather open that space for somebody else who can almost like give you what you need, kind of thing. And that's in business, that was in family, that was in relationships, everything.
And then you wrote a book about this.
Yeah. Well, listen, it took 4 years because I wanted something. I knew I was readily telling my testimony. Like, I've been on the news and multiple times. I've done a lot of different things in terms of that. I was actually working with the American Cancer Society. And so, like, almost like doing their kind of stuff. But the good thing about it was the fact that.
Are you frozen?
I had to heal first. And for me, my healing process was letting go of the hurt I felt when it's almost like when certain situations happen, you expect people to be there, like just be there. When that didn't happen, I had to learn that it's not that person's fault. They just didn't have the capacity to be there for you. And it's nothing personal. You know what I mean? Because life is life on everybody. And then to have something that traumatic happen. And then to me, I'm like the strong friend. Pardon me. So people aren't used to seeing me.
Very strong going through it.
Yeah.
People were talking to you.
People aren't used to that. It's like, if you're the person I normally go to, or you're one of the people that I go to, I can't even have the capacity to think of you being in a weakened quote unquote state. And so I thought there was something wrong with me. I was like, man, like, that's how the enemy tried to get in and try to get me to not believe God. Cause it's like, I remember one time he was like, if certain people don't even care about you, why are you even trying to fight? And that messed my head up. And I went to therapy. That's another thing. I had to go through therapy. I had 2 therapists actually during that time because I had to just unpack.
While you were fighting the cancer?
No, this is after.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That was after, when everything was back and I was like, okay, I'm starting from scratch. I can't walk. I can barely eat. And it's like almost like everything that the chemo did. Because at that time I was like I was very vibrant. And then you go from, people don't know that once you go through full chemo, you go through straight menopause. Like I'm post-menopause now, and full menopause. They don't know that your bone density changes. So it's like all this kind of things you have to work out through, like working out and your diet and things. And then people don't realize like the effects that it has on your mind. I knew in that time period that I can only have or think of joy. After that, I had to deal with the emotions that I had pretty much put in because I'm only going to speak the word. Yeah. And I had to get that stuff out.
What came out when you finally allowed it
to? Anger, hurt. But it was more so at people. I never questioned Father Godness. That's one thing I'm glad about, because I'm like, he's only good. But for me, I realized that even in that, I was just angry, not necessarily the person. I just wanted certain people to be there, and they weren't. So it's like you just have to let people go and forgive people.
Have you had conversations with them like since then?
Most of them. A couple of them, I had conversation. It was cool, but it's like at the end of the day, it's like agree to disagree.
Yeah. So what was it like writing the book and reliving it and going into detail of it? That process. And you said it took 4 years. Why did it take so long?
Well, I was doing everything else. Like I was doing plays still. I was doing film still. I was working. That's when we started still searching. Then I had my babies. I mean, it was just a lot of stuff. And it was almost like it just wasn't the moment for it. But even when I asked God, I was like, Lord, I said, okay, how am I going to find the time to do this? I'm just being honest. I know you want me to do this book, but when I find time, Holy Spirit was giving me all kinds of things. He said, record your voice. Now use a transcriber to have it, type it up for you. Okay, now do the edit. Okay, now do this, go that. He literally gave me, I have in my notes, objective, this, went it down. My husband was laughing. I wrote this book. It took me only like 2 weeks.
Yeah. Because you already had the formula by the time you actually started to write it.
Yep. And he gave it to me.
What's the elixir? Like, what's the takeaway when people pick up the book? What is it that you're expecting or hoping that they can gain from it?
I call people cousins, and that's because I want people.
I noticed that. Let's get into it. We family.
Yeah. It's like because I want you to feel seen, and I want somebody to know that, hey. And sometimes people can't take things unless you yourself went through it. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like I want people to read this and be like, okay, my cousin went through this, and she's telling me some tips of what helped her. And it's going to be hard, but I'm not alone.
Yeah. And I can keep pushing through. I think the thing that just really keeps resonating for me is that you went through something that should have ended your life literally, and you were still able to focus and to push through. Do you have any regrets? Do you wish that maybe you would have spent less time working and just more so focused on like yourself? Or do you think that you literally made the right decision and this was the only way you was going to make it through?
Yeah. I mean, I was in the hospital. I'm laying in bed most of the time. It's nothing.
It's
nothing else to do. I might as well write. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I couldn't. And the crazy thing too, I remember when they first started to give you like if they want to make some people drug addicts, they first tried to give me fentanyl and what's the other one they always give? It starts with an M, morphine. But I didn't like not being myself and cognizant, so I didn't do any medications, any pain medications, because I knew that if I had to talk to my daughters, like, video calls, I didn't want to be out of my mind or out of it and not being aware for that. So I didn't do it.
This is just like, what?
Yeah, I just couldn't. I didn't want them. And then my daughters are just as sensitive as I am. So if they saw me, they would know. So it's like making sure that there's still a strong front for them, because they're still young. They don't understand. They're used to being around their mommy. Their mommy's not around. And then I can't touch them. I can't even, you know what I mean? So I had to suck that up.
That just it just blows my mind how selfless you were during that time.
Yeah, that was, I relied on him. And even now, it's like I rely on him so much because I feel like at every day that you have a day to become more and more of his image. And my thought is like, if he's so good to me, how can I evangelize people without having to go out and with the tracks or come on a porch like Jehovah's Witnesses? No shade to them. Love you too. But you know what I mean? But it's like, but if I can live my life in a way that every time I meet somebody, they feel better after leaving my presence, that's important to me. That's what I focus on.
Yeah. And so I imagine that's what you focus on now, incorporating in your art more intentionally.
Yeah.
more intentional? What are some ways that you do that now, like incorporate this particular part of your life, this journey into the art that you are creating now, outside of obviously the book and
Yeah.
those things?
Yeah, I think more so now it's like building and scaling our businesses out. Like now I put a lot of the time that I was doing Nicole So Random, I literally took that creative and put it more so into our art business, because we have an art business where it's called Paint Clothes, and then my husband is an artist too. We're building out the businesses that way. And then also,
what is Paint Clothes?
Yeah, Paint Clothes we have, that's all like, well, this is not one, but my husband has a clothing line that we call Paint Clothes, but it's like we have hoodies, t-shirts, all kind of custom wear. He does coats too, trenches, whatever, but we do like different, like inspirational, or it's still to me God, but it's almost just like in a creative way.
Yeah. You really quickly, because you mentioned your husband a couple of times. What are you most appreciative of him?
Oh my God, like this is gonna be long-winded. Listen, I promise you, because
especially during that time, because it seemed like, yes, you're juggling a lot,
yeah,
but he's still like at the crib.
He was Superman to me. You're working a full job, you're taking care of the girl still, you're trying to make sure you're there for me. And it's like, I mean, my husband is, if anybody knows my husband, he's people think I'm extroverted, but he's the extroverted one. He just chill. But his kindness toward me, I think, like, we'll be married 20 years next year. People don't believe that, but like 20 years. But he's kind, he's patient. He actually supports me in what I do. The way he talks to me, I think in the whole time of us being together, like 23 years, he's only raised his voice to me once. I mean, it's just, but it's a beautiful thing. It's like being married to your best friend. You know what I mean? And it's just, I mean, he's dope. Like, people know I'm gonna talk about him all day. I never get tired.
Did he surprise you like even more during that time, and how he stepped in? Or was it
he's always been that way. Yeah, he's just always been that way. For me, it was just beautiful to see, like, even his relationship with my girls deepen even more. You know what I mean? Because it's almost like he's doing both. But seeing that just blessed me, because, and then it's like, you ever, there's a scripture talks about being a cheerful giver. He's one of those people that whenever he does something, he never makes it like he never does it with an attitude. He never does it like, oh my gosh, it's like this is a sacrifice. He made me literally feel safe the whole time. Which
I'm sure allowed you to be able then to output for other people.
Yeah, definitely. Not even a question.
What is it like being like working then? Because sometimes you can hear like the bad sides to working in business with your partner. What has that been like?
Okay, so people don't know, like, when Damon first started doing like his early murals and stuff like that, I was like one of his first assistants. So I can actually draw too. I just can't do faces. Like my Martin Luther King would be looking slightly weird. You know, I look like he's nightmare. It'll be slightly bogus, but everything else, I was like one of his main things. Like I had one of my daughters at the time, she was in a snuggly, and I'm painting on scaffolding. Like we just got it in however we had to. But I remember one of his leaders at the time he was working for organization. He said, I don't think it's possible for a husband and wife to work together so well. Then we did a whole project. And then after he came, he's like, you all just work so well together. We are cool. Like what we focus on in terms of like marriage and relationship is you can express yourself fully without having to tear down somebody, because we're on the same team. So it's if the goal is understanding, then I don't have to act weird or get an attitude or be mad about stuff. I can just literally like, man, you made me mad right now. Well, why did I make you mad? Well, and when you have that kind of dialogue, it's like you intentionally meant to do something. So you don't have to do that. And it's like one thing I like about us is even when we were dating, we were friends. Like we literally, the stuff that we could talk about. And that's the thing. Some people can be honest, but not necessarily transparent and vulnerable. And for me, because he's a safe place, I can tell him crazy stuff and he was like, man, you know, that's crazy. But it's kind of like, I'm gonna work through that crazy. Like we together and this is how it is. And we just gonna build it. If we don't have it, we're gonna build it. If we don't have it, we're gonna fix it. And we just locked in.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah. Oh, we have fun, bro. That's why I say I don't understand what kind of marriage and relationship people doing. Because he could be sitting there and I'm like, I can't believe you just did that. I'm so mad. And then the next thing, well, what we gonna eat though? Because I saw this new restaurant that I saw on TikTok. Can we go there? Like it's just cool. It's just fun.
I was just thinking that like it sounds fun.
Yeah.
Probably real easy to create.
Yeah. You said what?
Which makes it easy to create.
Yeah.
The type of creating that y'all do, because then the work y'all do is really like social justice
Yeah, it is.
art.
It is. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you think, what is the correlation between social justice and like art and creative expression in general? I'm just curious.
I think it's almost like for me, whatever my gift and skill is, I want to use that in order to make my community or neighborhood better. So that's why it's like, to me, when people say, okay, you do this, and this, well, it was a need, and that artistic thought came, or that product came, or that activity came because I saw a need, and then I just used whatever gift I had to do it until I could find somebody who could do it better. Because I do believe in that. I believe in partnership. Hey, you know what? I know I could do that a little bit, but you could do it way better. How can we make this work?
And that's how. So is that how you came up with Nicole So Random?
Yeah. Now I'm just always been weird, and then people always say I said stuff random. Like I'm that person, like, ooh, squirrel. Yeah, like you could be talking, I'm totally focused on you, but at the same time, think like, but I wonder if I roasted that chicken. Like, yeah, it's like my mind is always going. I've been like that since a little girl.
Oh, that's me. That's me.
Yeah.
It's to me, the weird, all the things that makes a whole lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How involved are your girls in your art, in the work that you do, in social justice and all of those things?
They can already paint and draw like my husband. And it's like, yeah, when I say they are amazing artists, but they do. So it's like, and it's like not a mom just bragging about her girls, even though I will, but they are amazing girls. Like they go to Walter Payton. It's like #1 school. So it's like they're going almost through like a college education already kind of thing. Mm-hmm. They're getting A's, I think straight A's and a B. And then Olivia, I think got straight A's and I think 2 B's, but AP classes, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But they're also athletic. They play squash, but they started their own. They squash. It's like, you ever saw racquetball? Yeah. Actually, one of my daughters is going out of town this weekend because she's in the silver tournament, so she's doing really well with that.
For squash.
Yeah, for squash. Mm-hmm.
I have to check this out,
bro. You would like it. You would. I promise you would. And then it's like, on top of that, they started their own like not-for-profit with other groups of kids called Teens Talk Teeth. So they go to other like elementary schools and talk about dental hygiene.
Stop it. Is it formed? Like they
formed it. They were with meeting with lawyers, I think from was it Northwestern, I think, or whatnot. Yeah. And so they do that. Then my daughter's on a National Honor Society. They have another thing they pray every morning. They have a group called H2O where they pray every morning with another group of children before. I mean, how
does that make you feel? Because clearly it's just following y'all leadership.
I'm just so grateful because it's like one of the things I told Father God, I said, Lord, the biggest thing I could do is have them know you for themselves. Not because mommy wants you to read the Bible, not because she wants you to pray, but just because that's what you want to do. And I didn't even know they were doing it at first until just, you ask them every day, what's going on, what you do. And then I'm like, I was done. Because I'm like, yeah. And so she's a senior. My oldest is a senior. So, she's getting ready, geared up for college. And I'm like, oh my, I have a senior and a 15-year-old. That's crazy. Somebody made me have some kids.
Nonprofit?
Huh?
Already have a nonprofit and
yeah.
That's actually,
and then they help out with Still Searching Project too. So that's like, yeah, they're amazing.
I got to make sure I drop the information for the Still Searching Project. It's more people joining us, and for those, I see peace and love healing. I don't know.
Oh, that's Rashonda. I know her.
Okay,
that's my cousin.
Oh, my cousin. And then Lauren.
Oh, Lauren too.
Yeah, the heart. I love it. Okay, so you got some people in the house with you.
Yeah, that's my family.
You got some people. Let's talk about the Chicago Peace Fellows really quickly.
Okay.
With all of the work that you have going on, why did you think that it would be a good fit how did you see Chicago Peace Fellows?
So I feel like a lot of times, sometimes when you're in your neighborhood and your community, you get almost like a horse with blinders. You're so focused on your part. Yeah, it's like I'm just focused on mine. Then it's like, man, this load is kind of heavy, but I'm gonna keep it going because the community needs it. And when I first talked to Michael, I was like, so you're telling me this is like all these organizations and they're in my area and I didn't even know it. And then everybody's going to link up and come together like a big transformer and make this big, you know what I mean? And do even more. Man, I was fully in. And then I've been working on getting out of being so introverted. I love being able to help, but I'm not trying to be the person. People try to make me a leader. and I know I'm a leader, but I'm not trying to be like the figurehead kind of person. And people always like that for me, and I don't like it. So for me, it was like, okay, now it's a lot of them. So I can learn, in the cut without having to just be on the forefront.
What's your reservation about it? Because clearly you are literally meant for it to be in the forefront of it. So what's the reservation? What do you think?
I just don't like people looking at me. I just don't like. I want people to have the information. It just doesn't necessarily have to come from my mouth.
But why not? Why not you?
I don't know. I just, man. Yeah, I like somebody else who has fun doing it. Let them do it. For me, it's like I just want to do the work. I just want to do the work.
But those are usually the best people to also communicate the work.
That's what they say. That's what they say. I don't need to get my husband started. When I do videos, he's like, people want to see your face. They want to talk to you. And I'm like, whatever. Can't hear you. Sorry.
Yeah, to your point, like how Lauren is laughing.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Is laughing because to your point, like you're saying, like you're an intercessor, you just all the things, but people can't really see like the whole glory of God if it's not you, like, rebellious. Lauren said,
I'm okay. Listen,
this. Look, she must have been telling you this.
Look, I'm gonna read the word. Look,
right? Because how does that happen if you don't want to be? If you're, I mean, it's not. I get it though, because there's a point for me where I'm like, I really just would want to do the work, and I would rather be behind the scenes, and I would rather do all the things. But if I'm the person who's called to be in the front, then I had to start asking myself, what is my problem with being?
You're right.
Am I like rebelling? I love that word.
No, you're good. See, you're teaching me in the middle. Look, you're teaching me in the middle. I'm coming out. But this is
the whole point of teaching exactly from the middle, because it's like clearly you're the one. Like you literally, I won't say cheated death, but God allowed you to literally come face
in the headlock.
Literally, and then to come out on top just for you to say you don't want to be seen.
Yeah. They can see me as I'm working.
I know you like.
I get a clone or something. Get one of them robots or something.
No, we got to see you out loud. You got to do more stuff like this. First of all, your story is crazy. For me, sitting here listening. First of all, we've known each other now for like 30-something Thursdays.
Man, yeah.
And this is and she says she in the forefront. It just looks different. Period. This is Lauren. Lauren is on you.
Lauren, look, Lauren's amazing. She's amazing.
Lauren is on you.
Yeah, she always. Okay, Lauren, that's enough.
But I'm saying, like, even listening to your story, I'm like, oh, I have no excuses. And even though, and I hate to say excuses, like stuff don't be valid. Like you have,
it's valid. It's very valid
to not do the opposite of what you did. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But you did it. And so I'm listening to that. And for me, I'm like, oh, I gotta, some of these, what I'm making is excuses. You know what I'm saying? I never came face to face with like my life or, you know, something like that. So it's like listening to your story and for you to say it and have joy.
Yeah.
Like what? And to laugh?
Yeah.
What?
Well, I'm gonna laugh. I'm the wrong person to sit by.
Gee, you didn't just lose an edge, you lost a whole brain.
Bro. And then it was, look, one thing I will say is that Father God let it grow back even. He did. And I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful.
But then you found gratitude in your head being not shaped funny. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, I think are all textbook things that when you're talking about like reframing real time so that you can like see different things, tricking your mind, doing all of the things. A lot of the times, if you haven't gone through something like what you said, I cannot just say that to certain people. They'll miss it. Yeah. So it's like they need to hear your voice and they need to see your face because your story attached to it is what's going to make them believe something different.
Yeah.
Or at least the seed, you know.
Yeah. No, I got those pictures. Like I said, I remember I because I had certain people, especially because, you know, I had, how can I say this? Let me reframe this. So I had certain people, I had some people say weird stuff, but I remember one of the things that was said to me was that, hey, you know, you're an actress. And I mean, I usually get the leading role, the leading lady where, you know, the cute girl.
You just got the light. You got the light.
And I remember certain people telling me, hey, you really shouldn't show pictures of, like, I would show my full cancers because I want people to see, and then this is what God did. So you know what I mean? And I remember I had so many people telling me, like, hey, you really don't want to do that. That's gonna mess up your acting, that's gonna mess up the different things, because everything is built on your looks and stuff. And I just remember I said, well, my testimony is more important than any kind of job that I ever do. And Father God's really been giving me a special grace in that.
That's because true. Also, like, just thinking about the times that we're in now, like, I think looks and like surface level things used to be a thing before social media.
Yeah.
Now people care about your story.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, you doing what you're doing right now is like perfect timing, because people want to know the story.
Yeah.
They want to know. And I think people need to know, because they need to know that it's people out here dealing with stuff that you would never think of.
Yeah.
Still going. So we still go. You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about, because we're like 50 minutes and I know it's the evening. I want to respect everybody's time.
No worries.
For everybody who's joining us so far, if you have any questions or comments, definitely continue to drop them in the chat. But I want to talk about your event that you have coming up.
Ooh.
Because it kind of like encompasses all of the things. Like, book, it's a double book signing with you and your man.
Yeah.
So wait, let's get into this event. Do you do events like this often? What prompted this one? Like, let's just get into it.
So I'm an event person. Like, people know one thing that, if you're gonna be around me, you're gonna eat. So that's very important to me, and that's why I think that's why how we originally connected at the.
I was stuck in my food. Don't even get me started. We were
first one in line. Listen, that's gonna be us.
Look, first one in, first one out. I ain't got time to play about it.
So November 9th, from 2:00 to 5:00, we're going to be at Ocean City Aquarium. So it's a really nice space. And we're going to have a double book signing. It's my book, I Can't Survive, Abundant Life After Cancer. And then my husband's book, Create, Inspire, Uplift, 25 years of mural art. And people don't realize my husband has painted, I tell him now, close to 500 murals around Chicago and beyond. Like, if you hear art in Chicago, definitely you're going to see my husband. Yeah. Only the good ones. Not because, some people like, is that his mural? I'm like, no, baby girl. No. No. I mean, no. The good ones. Yeah. If you see the good ones, that's my husband. If not, but yeah. But he made this amazing, like 200-page where all his different mural paintings are in full color. And then we're having a pop-up art shop, because I think sometimes, like, I like to create environments and safe places. So whether it's for still searching or whether it's for our own personal things, when you come, I want to almost feel like you coming back to like a kickback at your families. And that's important to me. So when you come, you're going to get food, music, sign a book if you want to, look at some artwork, but just come and chill and hang and be cool.
Yeah, no, I love this.
And it's a humongous aquariums there too. It's nice.
And I have the link to the event in the bio. So if you're watching live, you can go to the description of this video and you can click the link, because I saw that you kept it open a little bit.
Yeah. So, I'm like, listen, Black and white cousins, y'all cannot be late to the party. Like I said, I'm like, for real. I'm telling y'all, I did personal messages. I'm like, okay, I'm about to close off. Literally, I was like, oh, my link ain't closed off because I had like 6 more times. I'm like, okay, yeah, for real. But I was like, he was like, wait till Friday. I'm like, okay, fine.
Payday.
Yeah.
Payday. You gotta wait.
Listen, I'm like, okay, fine. I was like, we ain't gonna be in there like sardines or nothing, but okay.
Screaming. Are you gonna be reading like parts of the book, or like how's this gonna go?
I was gonna look at how the flow of it, if it goes. I'm one of those people that I check the temperature of how people are. If people are just vibing and chilling, it's fine. If not, or if it needs like a little moment, then I'll have a moment. I know I'm gonna speak just because I want people to know what the book is about. But I'm more chill, go with the flow. Let's see how the environment is.
I'm excited for this. My mind is actually going, because we actually could extend this for like a whole other hour.
And I'm not, look, people already know, like, I'm not the phone person. I'll text you all day, but talking, well, okay. But that's why we know that you're special and that this is something that you should be doing. Because you can bring anything out of somebody. See, I'm going to turn this back around. Don't worry,
I'm gonna get my lick back. I'm gonna get my lick back. Don't worry.
Because this is like amazing. I mean, and then it's like I like the authenticity of the questions that you ask, because it had me really thinking. It had me really, and then you moving and you shifting, you keeping it exciting.
Girl, don't gas me live. But I just whenever I come across people who I just genuinely am curious about people. I think. You know what I mean? And so when I see people do extraordinary things real time, it's just like I get curious about that. Like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you manage that? How do you manage to be a mom and do all of these things that social media tell you can't do all at once?
Yeah. And it's a lie. That's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. It's a lie. Because I feel like even with my daughters, we're so close. At the same time, you have to give them
here. People got to see this. Keep going.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a beautiful space. But I think it's all because everything is built on Father God. And it's like I can't do anything in my own ability. But with him, all things are possible. And enjoy. It doesn't, I hate when people make it seem like when you're a Christian, it's going to be a horrible life or you got to sacrifice so much. I don't want to serve a God like that. No, I'm sorry. I'm just being real.
And that's the point I was about to make. Like literally all of these things, but to still do it with joy.
Mm-hmm. In my book, I pretty much like the foundation of everything he gave me was joy. Yeah.
Is that something that you specifically pray for though, for that journey or just for your journey in general? Like, do you have to be like, listen, no matter what happens, God, just allow me to still walk in joy?
Yeah. I think out of everything, I feel like, because you can tell people to have faith, but sometimes people are like, well, God, increase my faith. You could tell people about peace, but I'm not feeling peace right now. When you think about joy, joy is not dependent upon what your situation is. It's not like happiness where it's like, okay, this made me happy. But joy is saying that I'm literally purposefully choosing to believe what God says about a situation versus what my feelings and body is telling me. So I had to. That's the only thing I can hold on to.
No, I love that because I think that's just like the key to anything. I think that's what's going to keep anybody going in anything. Yeah. You could just like find joy. It makes me think about when I was first leaving the school, it was 2018. And right before, and so I knew I was like about to have hard times. Like I'm leaving my whole career. Like I knew, and it was around the winter time and we were getting ready to have like the coldest like winter on record. Now I'm still teaching at this time, but I am aware that what I'm going into next is going to be bad. So like my homegirl, she's like, she wanted us to like help her volunteers pass out like blankets because it's going to be the coldest night on record. Homeless people, food, things like that. And so that's what we did. And I'm gonna tell you the truth, like the night came and I did not want to do it anymore. That was the mood that I was in. It's like, it's cold. I don't want to go out there. And it was kind of like the conviction part where it's like, you gave your word and you have a choice. So it's like, you should go out there and come back into the warm. But I'm so happy that I did because like I said, it was at the beginning of my journey and I didn't really know what to expect for any of those things. But after having the experience, going to those people, going to the first stop, because we did multiple stops, but the first stop, they asked one of the guys asked if he could pray.
Oh, wow.
Okay, cool. And he led the prayer. But in the prayer, like he was like praying for us too. Wow. But he was ready to stay out at night. And before we left, like they were just kind of like all joking with us and laughing. I just remember like, I don't know where where my journey is about to take me. But what I do know is that whatever it is that's in them that could allow them to laugh and have joy was the word that I use. That's what I need for this journey. That's what I want. It blew my mind because I'm asking for something that I'm seeing in homeless people who's getting ready to spend one of the coldest nights on record outside in the cold, and they still had joy. So I know it's a real thing. Like when I hear you speak, I know you're not just speaking and saying it because it sounds good to say. I've seen it. And so, like, I know that's powerful because it made me pray for it. Time where I was getting ready to like go through my own storm. You know what I'm saying? I had no idea, but I knew I needed that. I knew I needed that. So it's like to hear your story is like, man, I think if people don't take anything else, it's just how can you not suffer and but how do you endure and still have joy? How do you navigate and gracefully, because to your point, that's possible.
Yeah, it's quite possible. And that's what I say. The only thing I can say is God. You can either choose to believe him
or not.
It rains on the just and unjust. So I'd rather have him on my side.
I'd rather be on the safe side.
Yep.
I'd much rather be on the safe side. Okay, so here's what we're gonna do for the ending of this. So it's a different type of end.
Okay.
So before we do any, I'm explaining first and then we'll get to it. So
Okay.
before anything, I definitely want people to know where they can find you, like any places that they can find you. Like I said, I have your link for your event. It's still open until Friday. So if you're still watching and you haven't already signed up, you can go to the description, click the link to sign up. I also have your Instagram in our description as well. But if it's anything else that you have going on or anything that ways people can find you, just communicate, get in touch with you, follow your work. I know you said you're getting ready to release some things coming up in 2026. So how can people follow this work or just be in the know? What do you have planned? Are you going to do more of these things? Because
I have a lot of these planned.
I'm saying.
Yeah, I have a lot of these things planned. Actually, me and my best friend actually coming out with our pod. But it's not going to be a podcast. I don't know what we're going to do. But we're going to be talking. But it's called Nick and Neck. Yeah, and she's amazing. Like, she's an amazing actress. She can do anything. She really can. But we're coming out with that. But you can find me on Nicole So Random on all social media platforms. In terms of the Still Searching Project, the stillsearchingproject.com. It's really simple for all that stuff. And then just in general, I just want to create in whatever space I have. So for me, I'm already ready to write my next book. I'm going to be filming all next year. I have like, I think I have 6 acting projects coming up. And then I'm also working with my best friend and another one of my close friends, and we've got a lot of stuff coming out. So next year gonna be popping out. Listen, I'm excited about it.
Like, I'm like, I love this for you. Yeah. I'm excited to keep up with this. And obviously you're gonna have to come back and then we're gonna have to talk about all the things you've done thus
and then you're gonna have to be in one of the films and stuff like that. You know, listen.
You just tried it. The way you just slid that in there, I thought you was about to say, come on the podcast. I was like, I can talk. You just really tried.
You got this.
I'm curious. Okay, this is another thing that I'm curious about. Like, when you encounter people, how do you? I don't want to say that I used to ask people, like, when you leave this earth, your legacy will be, and it would be then for you to fill in the blanks. But I don't know. I think legacy is just. I saw this quote that said that, your legacy is in every person you touch, like, period.
That's true.
So it's, for me, I'm wondering, like, what is your hope when people encounter you? What is it one thing that you hope? Obviously, we can't control nothing, right?
Yeah.
So they can't just automatically do it. But what is one thing that you are like, I hope that they walked away knowing at least this? I feel like I know the answer if you do.
Look, I'm gonna just say that I'm gonna be like just repeat myself.
I know it.
I just want people to walk away either 1, feeling better about themselves, or 2, feeling as if they had a safe space. That's like, so, and for me, that's going to be me. I feel like I'm one of those people that when you meet, it's almost like God used me as a marker in people's life in order to show them their identity or purpose. So any kind of way I come alongside you and whatever resources I have, I'll do whatever I need to do in order to get you to where Father God wants you to be.
That's good. Who are you looking to collaborate with? Who are the types of people that you're looking to collaborate with? We're just going to throw it out there. If we could just.
No, it's cool. I love people who, you're kind to other people. I'm a big human resources person. If I won't even have anybody on my set. If you have attitudes or things like that, and it's not anything personal, it's just that I want people to feel the love of God. And I don't care how good you are, I don't care how great of an actress or actor you are, if you can't show people kindness, then we just can't work together. Because I'm one of those people, I'll ignore somebody if they do something weird with me. But if you come after somebody, one of my people, it's going to be one. I'm #Inglewood. That's where I'm from, just so people know. Don't get it twisted.
Look, hashtag don't get
Yeah. So
don't get it messed up.
There's that, yeah.
Period. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But just feeling good about themselves and feeling seen. And I think to your point right now, that's what people need. So
people are lost. People don't know their identity. A lot of times people, one of the biggest things I realized, even with young people, because I used to do like after school matter programs and different kind of acting programs and things. And one of the biggest things I realized that when a youth or a young person doesn't know their purpose and identity, then they will go off and be distracted by other things that tear them away from that. Mm-hmm. And so now you're with people or you're affiliated with things that are taking you away from who God created you to truly be. And that's the issue. That's where the violence comes from. That's where the drugs come from. That's where all this stuff comes on, because you don't have somebody pouring into you and building you up in the area where you're great at so that you can create your business, you can create your ministry, you can do whatever else.
You know what? Okay, because you're saying this, and then I promise I'm gonna let us go in a second. Because you're talking about like identity and knowing yourself and things like that. And I'm wondering, even in your work and like even in your art, how do you know when something that you're doing, After School Matters is an amazing program? It is. How do you know when something that you're doing that you're going to choose to do, if it's a project, if it's anything, how do you know that that's attached to your calling versus maybe just another opportunity?
I think that whatever you do that you're passionate about, like even when people get angry at certain situations, I feel like even when they get angry at different things that are going on, that has something to do with your purpose. Because why are you so passionate about it? And it's just like you don't know how to communicate it, so it comes out in anger versus you realize within yourself, well, you know what? The reason why I'm so mad is because there's a lack or something missing there. And instead of thinking that you're the asset to give or be the resource for that, you get caught up in the emotion of a thing. I feel like everybody now is emotional. We don't have the discipline to be able to, even if you, like for me, even if I don't prefer somebody, you would never know it. Because to me, before anything, I have to show you the love of God, even if I don't prefer your personality, because it's just a personality. Different people click with different people. You know what I mean? It's like, I may not like you, but that don't mean I can't respect you, show love to you and everything else. And I feel like just because people are so emotionally, like the lack of emotional intelligence, that just bothers me. See, look, that bothers me because it goes back to wanting people to feel loved and seen. So
yeah. So okay, so when you are deciding, like, okay, this is the next thing that I'm doing for this reason, like, how do you know that then?
I look at the need, and I feel like if I'm drawn to it, most of the time for me, it's almost like I get an inner knowing. It's like, let's say, because the thing about it is something if I feel the point of either two things, I feel passionate about it, or I feel like I don't want to do that. That's too much.
Oh, like being the forefront?
Exactly.
Ooh,
I'm not deceived. Look, I'm not deceived.
You say I know my shortcomings.
Yeah, I know the things I'm working on, the growing areas. I ain't deceived. Look, aren't I doing this? Look, and look what God brought you. Now we're doing about see,
and now me
and
and
I got
Laura
a couple more, so. And then I need a sabbatical.
Well, you got to get in the front now. I'm listening. Okay, so as we start to wrap this up, the very last thing that we'll do. So you'll go first, and then I'll say the rest. So basically, I always hear people say, like, I'm gonna just call it like I see it. I'm gonna call it like I see it. And then when we do that, it's generally followed by something that's rude, disrespect, and and we just say that we're calling it like we're seeing it. So hopefully that can like lighten the blow. And to your point, I think that people should feel seen. And and it's important too, especially when you're in the middle space. You get what I'm saying? Because sometimes you don't always feel worthy to receive the praise. Or you don't think that you've done enough to be seen just yet. So you don't even know how to receive it. And so for you, I'm just wondering, with the people that you're working with, who is somebody is like who has just been around you, maybe just been on your heart, and you see them and you like, I'm gonna just call it like I see it, and we're just gonna go ahead and mix what that means. You're gonna call it and who be and why.
One right now, I have his shirt on. My brother is Be Symbolic, Simeon Henderson. Amazing dude. Every day he does an inspirational, like I said, he might as well be a pastor, but an inspirational, like a video. And for me, the fact that he has the mindset to early in the morning get up and have enough wherewithal to be able to almost like encourage and inspire people every day, it blesses my heart, because to me, it shows validity in the fact that there are people who care about other people. Like now, I feel like everybody's after just to get almost like a crab mentality. I only care about me and mine. But the fact that he's willing to, one, have a clothing line, two, he has a scholarship fund, a golfing scholarship fund for the youth, that he gives a scholarship for them to go to college. That to me blesses me, because it's almost like somebody looking out for other people and not just themselves.
I love that. That's amazing. So shout out to him. I love that hoodie. I love how, and I love the energy behind it when you started talking about him. That's how this is the last part of this. So everybody already has like how they can get in contact with you and all of this, right? So this last part of this is you got to receive your flowers as well. And so I'm just going to tell you something that I like about you or admire. And then all you can do is say, thank you, tell me more. And then that's it. And here's why I saved this for last, because if you try to say anything besides that, like you try to give me flower, you try to do it, I'm hanging up.
It's so hard. Okay, go ahead.
Listen, So if the call ends abruptly, it's because she started talking to me more than just thank you, tell me more. And you know why we do this again with teaching from the middle, just as I, start to head out, like I had to push myself to lead from the front too, and to put myself out there. And a lot of it came from my own reservations of, am I ready to do that? Can I do that? People want to hear it from me. And so teaching from the middle, that whole the concept came literally from like my own insecurities and reservations. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Because it's this idea of, especially for people like us, we're going to always be further than where we were. We're going to always be able to look back and see something that we've accomplished, but also we're going to always look ahead and see something more that we can do. And so essentially this space of being in the middle is, I don't know, I feel like we'll always be that way as long as we're, always becoming. And so what we have to do in order to continue going to those next levels is that we just got to be able to receive our flowers and know that we deserve them right now, right in this second. And we got to be able to just take it and not give them back. And for somebody like you who just loves to give flowers, you just got to take it and not give them back. And then that's how we gonna end it, because everybody already know how to find you. So once I'm done, I'm just gonna hang up the call and it's just gonna be a book, and that's just gonna be that. Okay. I love this for you. Okay, so are you ready? You want to count? You want to take a deep breath? Or it's the, I know the people on the other line like, this is crazy. Okay, and I'm not gonna kill you with it, but I will say, I'm gonna say, Nicole, you inspire me.
Thank you. Tell me more.
What'd you say? I didn't hear you.
Tell me more. Thank you.
You do. I think like your selflessness, just listening to your story, and the way that you were able to still like hold God like in the middle. That's it's a really, I think people lose it there, because that's where the faith is. That's where all the things are tested. Hold on one second. My granny just stopped me in the middle.
She should, as she should. Look, she gets to every time, anytime she wants to.
No, but to hear you, I'm gonna stay focused though. But to hear you tell this story and to still prioritize one God, and this has been clear. Like this God was clearly throughout this whole 1 hour and 11 minutes, and it wasn't forced. It wasn't one of those things. It was just true. And I think especially now, this is a time where people have to know God, and they have to know what God has done for other people, even if they don't see it in themselves yet. And so hearing your story, that I almost cussed, because that's God. No, I'm that child. God, I'm that kid. I'm not.
He don't care. He don't.
I know you don't. That's why I know I can cuss God. I ain't gonna cuss over here with you. But just like hearing you and then to light up about the love of God during like one of the toughest times. Like, I don't know if people, if all the people on here were here from the beginning, but you had an experience where you shouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have the perspective that you have after it, but your perspective is what it is today, and it's still to serve. You still have a heart to serve people. Yeah. Like you lit up when it came time to talk about your daughters, your husband, your brother, like the people, like you just lit up, and that inspires me, because I think it's so easy to not light up, when it gets hard, and especially in times like this when everything is around you, to light up. Energy is contagious, to pass that off. You know what I'm saying? To be able to hold all of the hats that you hold. And then I'm so inspired by the fact that, and really this can be a whole other conversation, but talking about Black love, being a parent, setting foundations, centering God, running a business, like going through the things and saying like, no, it's a possible thing. Like you don't have to suffer either, because you love God. It don't have to be that hard. Like just the things, the hope that your story gives and restores, even in me. You got me ready to work for the rest of this night, because I'm like, I got to catch up. I'm inspired. I'm inspired by it. And however I can support you on your journey, however we can continue to work and collaborate, let's do that. I love that we had the opportunity to sit here. I've gotten to know you like completely differently. This has been a joy for me. Like, you deserve all your flowers right this second, and just receive them. Just take them. Don't say nothing else. None of that. You just take it for the night, and we're going to end it like that. I love this. I love this. We are cousins. I love this. We're going to do this again. You're going to keep going. You're going to do this again. You're going to lead from the front because that's the calling. That's the next thing. And that's just what it is. And you're inspiring me to lead from the front as well. So, yeah. Don't sleep on Chicago kids. I love this. And so that's that, y'all. Thank you for joining us. That is the end. She can't say anything else. I just want her to receive it. And we got to end like this. And on that note, y'all have a great one. We teach it from the middle. And it is